May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to a pro-choice college student in Confused by Biology. This is from Kristen Hawkins. Without further ado, let's get started.
What is a fertilized egg? You can Google it.
Go ahead. I can tell you it's not a human being.
What is it? Is it a koala bear?
I believe it's a zygote.
What is a zygote? A zygote of what species? Because there's lots of different zygotes. There's koala bear zygotes.
Mm-hmm.
There's elephant zygotes.
Mm-hmm.
What's a zygote?
You have Google, you told me. And what is your background in medicine and science?
Fertilized egg is an embryo. An embryo is an early stage of development of a multicellular organism. In general, in organisms that reproduce sexually, embryonic development is part of the life cycle that begins after fertilization and continues to the formation of body structures. A fertilized egg is an embryo or a zygote. No matter how you want to call it, that's a member of our human being. You're using a dehumanizing term to dehumanize human beings in the earliest stages by saying, oh, it's just a fertilized egg. A fertilized egg, when sperm meets egg, bam, a unique human life comes into existence with a brand new genetic code that's never existed before and will never exist again. And that new genetic code,
life.
what is it? Is it dead?
It's not alive. It's not a life.
Wait, how can it grow into a baby if it's not alive?
Good question.
It's not a life.
It's not like, what is it? So it's living,
It's a
but it's
thing.
not a life.
It's a thing. It is a clump of cells.
I'm a clump of cells.
Yeah, and you have life.
I'm a thing.
Yes, and you have a brain, and you have brain waves.
So
And you have the ability to have consciousness. You can feel pain.
an embryo has the ability to feel consciousness.
Not
at
until the
some
third
point.
trimester.
So now, okay, so what you're saying is your value as a person is based on your functional abilities.
Your
Which is, I think,
bodily
very scary
autonomy
slow.
isn't until you have consciousness.
Who says who?
Says the law.
Your bodily autonomy isn't until you have consciousness?
Yes, that is how bodily autonomy works. That is why you are able to harvest organs from people who are brain dead. And
That's not how the law works, because in
And that's not how
PCV
the
Planned
law
Parenthood, the Supreme Court allows abortions to be restricted by states at about 24 weeks, but we know a child, a lot of people would argue that a child at 24 weeks isn't fully cognizant of who he or she is.
Mhm.
So is KCV Planned Parenthood wrong?
People have varying opinions about it. I don't think life begins at a heartbeat. And a heartbeat, Bill, that's not even a heartbeat yet.
It's fetal cardiac pole activity is how you call it?
Yeah, because it's not a heartbeat.
Yeah, if it's just part of the heart that's developed.
Yeah,
Because
so it's
the
not a
heart isn't fully
heartbeat. The
developed
heart
till
isn't
7 weeks.
beating yet.
It's
It's
just,
not pumping blood, so it's
just
not a
beating.
heartbeat yet.
but it's not heart.
It's just sending electrical impulses, which is not a heartbeat.
Mm, mm.
And I asked earlier what your medical and
You're-
scientific background was.
I can Google.
What was your medical and scientific
I don't have a
background?
medical and scientific background because
So
I'm
what
a
are your
smart person and I can
qualifications?
Google.
So you think your Google is better than a doctor or something?
Hell yeah, because you just disputed when 96% of all biologists agree that at the moment of conception, a unique, whole, living human being comes into existence.
They don't believe
You
it's
want to
alive.
call it a fertilized egg.
'Cause it's
It's
not
also
alive.
called, via Google, an embryo or zygote. Those are stages in every person's life. You didn't come from an embryo or fertilized egg. You once were one. And your value today as a human being that makes you irreplaceable was the very same even when you were a fertilized egg or zygote in your mother's fallopian tube. It's the same because it's a slippery slope. If at any moment you start saying, well, I don't believe you have human rights until you have consciousness. I don't believe you have human rights until you fully have the ability to reproduce. You don't have human rights until you're fully grown. That's a slippery slope because every single one of us would come up with a different definition of when human rights begin. And throughout our history, as I pointed out at the beginning of my presentation, throughout history, when you allow people to decide what characteristics deem a human being worthy of life and that life worthy of protection,
We already decided
bad
that with
things
the Terry
happen.
Schiavo case in the Supreme Court, which stated that if you don't have brain waves, then you do not have bodily autonomy legally.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people I know would deeply disagree with what the Supreme Court said, just like how I disagree with what the Supreme Court said in Dred Scott and said that human beings who are black weren't full persons. or
the
the
science backs
Supreme
this
Court
up.
said that in Plessy v. Ferguson that, yeah, you can have separate but equal sounds good to us, or what the Supreme Court said in Roe versus Wade, the unique whole living human being doesn't have the right to be protected. I disagree with a lot of Supreme Court rulings. And by the way, what's the Supreme Court's background science? Because I'm pretty damn sure in Roe versus Wade, the 7 men that ruled in Roe versus Wade literally started out the decision saying, we're not scientists or philosophers here.
I wish scientists were the ones that were making these decisions.
And me too,
not
because
men.
96% of them agree
They
that
don't.
human life begins at the moment of conception. The question is that human life valid? You're like arguing yourself in a way it doesn't sound great for you.
Excuse me?
You just denied like science to everyone here. It is a life. It is a member of our species.
That is what
That is
your opinion says
undisputed.
that it is a life. It
What
is
you're
disputed
arguing
by
is
every
that life doesn't
scientist.
have value. Let me help you. You're arguing that life doesn't have value.
That's true.
That a woman's life has more value than your own.
That's true. I agree with her 100%. I just love her confidence. She don't care the question you throw her way. She's going to answer you the best way. In short, the most reasonable way ever. Because I don't know. I think maybe because of constant, event like this, now she's a bulletproof to any question you're asking her. She always have a good answer to give you. You don't say an embryo does not have life yet. That means you are making it look like it's worthless. You see, because out of that little thing grows, it grows to be who we are today. So long as the two parties meet, the male and female, and they come together and they fertilize, the male fertilize the egg. That is it. That is the conception of life. Life begins from there. Because that is what keeps on growing. If it does not have life, then I don't think it will grow. As far as there's life, when you put your seed on the soil, you water it, life starts from there. It starts growing. So as far as it has started growing, there's life already in it. So as far as you've been able to fertilize the egg, life starts from there. So I don't see any reason why it should be like they start experiencing heartbeat or emotion or this or consciousness before they are human. No, you're discriminating. The thing is, so long as the eggs have been fertilized, to me, well, that is where my own personal view. Life begins from there, because that is where the process starts from. It starts growing. If you don't want to do, if you don't want that process, then I think there are other preventive measures you can actually use, protection, to prevent the eggs from meeting the sperm. It will help you prevent all this. But so long as you've agreed to go with that protection and such a thing happen, then I think you should just as well bring the child to this world, because you did that with your full mind and you were prepared for it, like you wanted to enjoy that moment. So now you have to bring the child and take care of the child. It's that simple. I know not every one of us is financially capable of doing that then, but that is why, according to my country, they said condom is way cheaper than Pampers. The diapers the baby wear, the outfit the babies wear, they are all more expensive than Pampers, even antenatal. They're all more expensive than condom. Even the antenatal cost and all, they are all expensive. So if you're going to take a few bucks to buy a condom to prevent you from, this kind of situation, then why don't you just do it? Or at least aside from that, they have other birth control pills or birth control method you can, take to help yourself, against situation like this. So as far as the child is here, like the child is here, let's just do our possible best to nurture that child, take care of the child, because you never can tell what that child has in stock for us. The child can be a very, a blessing to our generation, the new Michael Jackson, something like that. But let's try not to deprive them the opportunity to be here. As far as you had I just love the fact that childbirth does not just happen miraculously. You don't just wake up one morning and discover you're pregnant. There has to be a process. Even, what's it called? Okay, I know sometimes we have unforeseen circumstances, something like rape or something of that nature, which I know we don't plan for it. But still, if it's lead to pregnancy, it's still a child. You can as well bring the child to, this world, and, let the state take care of the child. If you feel bad or you don't want to have the child, the state can help you, take care of this child. I just feel it's a win-win, because now you're saving a life, even if it's not the way you planned it to be, but still you're saving a life. I think this topic is a very, very sensitive topic. Sometimes we try our best not to just go into it, so that we won't say a whole lot of things. But sincerely speaking, we are all human. The same way you watch a movie and see someone die in the process, or see someone die in a gunfire, or maybe like emotional movie, you feel like, nah, this person is supposed to be alive, this person is not supposed to die. That is how those embryos, those children in our body feels. They might not be able to talk, they might not be able to feel, but deep down they want to be here. They've passed through all the hurdles. They've been able to be in the stomach, they've been able to start growing. So why don't you just let them have the privilege of experiencing what life has for them? Well, that's a beautiful one coming from Catherine. I really enjoy her video. Like, I sincerely do enjoy her video, because aside from me listening to her, she actually educates me every time. She makes me see reason why there are some decisions that we take in this life that it's not supposed to be just for ourselves. It's supposed to be ourselves and the next person. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. It is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember, bless.